tuned in to the #1 social media show on the net with your host, Bernardo, WBGF TV.
The #1 show on Facebook, The Bernardo Show. Boom. That's right. #1 show. Right here on your screen. Legendary breaking dance B-boy. The one and only Flex. Flex, let me make it public over there on Facebook for a second and we'll start talking, okay?
Okay.
Give me a second right here. People, you guys want to, if you want, share this particular video because this is historical. This man right here is the person, the pioneer, one of the pioneers that brought breaking dance to the area of South Florida. Like the very first time I saw someone breakdancing, this is it right here. It's Flex. So you might want to share this video because a lot of good info is going to be shared over here. Let me go in here. Hold on a second. Let me go in here. Make this one public. Edit privacy. Hold on a second. All right. The video is public. Now everybody's watching the video. Hold on a second. Let me play that intro again. Because now everybody's watching this. Ahí va.
You are tuned in to the #1 social media show on the net with your WBGF TV.
What's up, Flex? How are you, man? Yo, you got headphones?
No, I don't have headphones.
Okay. No, it's okay. I got you here. Good. You, hold on one second. Ya te llamo. Hold on. All right, people, right here. Legendary Flex. Legendary Flex. I got Legendary Flex right here. The very first time I saw someone breakdancing in the area of South Florida, it's him right here. Flex, how are you, man? And welcome to my show, man, over here on Facebook, bro. Our show. How are you, bro?
Okay.
So you're no longer over here in South Florida. Where you at now, man? What part of the globe?
Right now I'm living in Germany. It's from Dusseldorf Airport. It's when you get off and you get on the train, you get off at Cologne. There's a beautiful church out there. It's a real big church. You take it all the way down to Bestorf. I live in Bestorf here in Germany. Right there's the taxi fodder and the train where they pay for the normal train or for the classic trains.
Right. Flex, let me ask you. Flex, how's the breakdancing scene over here in Germany?
Okay, that's a very, very, very good question. From where I live I live in Bestorf. So if you want to talk about the breakdancing is about at least from the German time this way, it's about at least 7 hours in the train. Pretty much it's a special train that allows you to make it in 7 hours to Leipzig. When you pronounce that word correctly or how you spell it, Leipzig. And they have the battle of the year here, and they have break dancers from all around the world.
Flex, did breaking take you to Germany? Was this the reason why you went to Germany? Like breaking, follow your career, your dreams?
Well, that's a good question. When I first came down here, I came down here in 1999, right? I came in 1999, and one of my thinking or one of my ambition as hunger is because I met up with a guy across from Osta Cafe, 10th Street and Ocean Drive, Miami South Beach, with Speedy Lake is across. A lot of b-boys across Mendez, Zulu Gremlin, a lot of guys that they pick them up in vans in at the airport, International South Florida Airport, and I believe so they were renting or in the hotels and staying out there for a good a good time to actually know about Miami, right? Know about the break dances in Miami. So what I'm trying to say is when I first came down here, I came here because I never seen it in my eye, the word called the Battle of the Year. I heard it earwise in 10th Street and Ocean as Miami South Beach with the guy called B-Boy Storm from the Battle Squad. So when I really came out here, I actually experienced it to be in the center, real, beautiful center, in the center, watching all the B-Boys on top of the stage. I will be like one versus one, two versus twos, three versus threes, and Cruz versus Cruz.
Flex, okay, so who, man, how did you become a break dancer? Like, what we want to know is because in this particular program, we're constantly looking for the history of hip hop. Like,
Right.
like what happened? Where was it born? Who was there? What did you see? What year was this when the very first time that this beautiful global movement was born?
Okay, that's another good question. That question, honestly, it's a really, really. I'm gonna try to be the best I can to explain it to you. This really starts off honest, in the real South Bronx. Now, when I was living in 183rd and Park Avenue, right, I was about 2 years and about 5 years on a wax candle, the fifth floor where they would, where they were going to say happy birthday to me as the name Jose, right? Now,
Right.
I was going to a school called Our Saviors. If you was really in the South Bronx, depending on the area of the map, I repeat, the area of the map, like John F. Kennedy Campus High School, going down to University, you were talking about inside the Bronx. Remember, I'm talking the Bronx. The Bronx is huge, but you're talking in the area that I'm talking about was the Floor Masters. The Floor Masters. The Floor Master was a group that was actually made by two guys in the South Bronx. And this is honest. I'm in Germany. It was Kid Nice and Action. One was president and one was vice president. I was one of the Floor Masters. Fast Break was another Floor Master. What's this other guy? Glide Master in Balecanse. He was a floor master, glide master, called Matthew. There was another guy in floor master, Ramses, powerful Baxter. Now, what I'm trying to say is that this, in that area, the word of the area was actually the practice outside on the street on a cardboard that people just tried to, the thinking that they were thinking inside of their head became a thinking of a visual on the cardboard. This is where the moves was actually being created. They were being originated. They were being invented without nobody. I repeat, nobody, no cameras, nobody going and filming, doing it right in the real address, university in the sidewalk. This is where the move was the hand glide, the footwork into a reverse windmill into a backspin into a head bridge. This was in, remember, I'm talking about the Bronx area, just the Bronx area. So what happened is I'm living in the Bronx
What
in
year?
108. This is a good question. I think like maybe around the 70s or maybe around the 80s.
Late, maybe 79, 80, somewhere in
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, maybe exactly. Maybe 79 or 80s. Now, what happened is that remember, this is the Bronx, the word called the Bronx. I'm living in the Bronx, but what happened is my mother, right? My mother, she's Cuban, right? She's
Uh-huh.
gonna go, she's working at Yankee Stadium. Let me see if you're familiar with that, Yankee Stadium. But she sells the ticket when the people goes in the line. Let me get a ticket to go inside the stadium, right? So you
Right.
got the Mets, you have the Pirates, you have the Sox, you have Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson was a baseball player that when the pitcher hits the ball and the bat hits the hard ball outside of the stadium, and they had the name Reggie Jackson on it. You take it to the booth, and they give you $40 bill for just having the name of Reggie Jackson. I used to breakdance in the projects of Reggie Jackson with a guy called Fast Break from the Magnificent Force in the motion picture B Street. Now, this is what happened that when I'm living in the Bronx, my grandfather lives in another building. I'm going to a school called Our Saviors, right? There's a lot of gangs around there, mopeds, the jackets, all of this going on in the real New York. When I actually moved from New York into Miami, High Bridge, into Miami, North East Side, I'm living in Manhattan. My mother works in Yankee Stadium. A lady came from Delancey Street and Broye Lafayette and said to my grandfather, I used to work in the inner tubes, I repeat, the inner tube ancient of the television, the real, if you know the real television, the ancient ones, the real ancient ones, the Channel 5,
Right.
the real, all the cartoons in Channel 5. She said to my grandfather that if I can stay in the studio complex called the Lancy Street Boy Lafayette, they had a guy called Valentino Flo, right? In Padre Cancer. Now, what happened is, my grandfather said his mother's about to come. If you wait for her, you talk to his mother. My mother actually, a coincidence came. She meets Julie. Julie says, "Hey, please leave Flex with me. I want to. He's gonna stay with me, in the studio complex." Delancey and Broy Lafayette. This is when you get off. There's a big marqueta, super big marqueta in Delancey Street, right? Okay. She says to Julie, Julie, my son is a baby. New York is too dangerous. I cannot leave him. He has to go to South Florida. Now, when I'm coming into South Florida from John F. Kennedy Airport into International Airport, I moved into Hialeah, into a townhouse right now as I'm speaking on Friday, into a townhouse with my Puerto Rican stepdad, Benny. They call him Benito. What happened is that when I'm living in that townhouse, it's a coincidence that I just take a walk. I take a walk. I go all the way down. I make a left, go straight down. There's a park called McDonald Park. As I'm making that walk, as I'm walking, the destination, I see this guy kicking. And I was curious. I said, hey, I like that. Let me go over there and talk to this guy a little bit. So we started, that's how it started. With the speedy leg. The word speedy leg was kicking in the grass field outside from the housing project where he lives. But what I'm trying to tell you is that breaking, it's not something that comes from in the Bronx into Miami. Watch this, because I have to leave because my mother didn't allow me to stay. If I would have stayed, Bernard, I would have been in the movie B Street.
Right.
I couldn't stay.
Yeah. Right. I remember I think it was in your house. I think it was like your a sister, your sister's birthday, or that I remember going to the townhouse, and then that's when I saw you breakdancing for the first time. I never seen that before in my life.
Right. So now remember when my mother left, right, from Yankee Stadium, that she's gonna get now on the plane, John F. Kennedy Airport, arrive at an international. I'm getting a Cuban coffee there for $1 something, $1.75, something like that. I'm eating some Cuban food at the restaurant. Okay, now what I'm trying to say is when we going into Hialeah, I never been to Hialeah. To me, it was something completely super different. I got a lead jacket. I don't have a really like a hard piece with a character. I got Donald Duck in the back of the jacket. Donald Duck, the
This is in
cartoon
New
with the
York.
skit
This is in New
in the
York, and you
jacket, the lead jacket, the
yo,
dungaree lead jacket.
you came through with that New York different style, and everybody over here in Hialeah was probably like, "Yo, what's up? Who where he came from?" And he's from from New York, man.
Right. But I in the lead jacket I had was the Donald Duck. Remember the cartoon. So anyway, like I said, I'm super bored to death. I'm bored. I don't have nothing to do, Bernard. Nothing. I take a walk. I'm by the school passing. I pass by the track, As soon as I'm doing that walking and stuff like that, that's why I see this guy. I go up to him. I'm talking to him. I said, "What is that?" I said, "That's kung fu." It was not kung fu, but he understand what I was coming because of the Bruce Lee era. Remember Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee, of
So
course.
yeah, Bruce Lee. So anyway, the thing is that some kind of way we got a conversation going on, some kind of good conversation, and that conversation took Ricky Fernandez to go to the townhouse. See, you understand me? To go to the townhouse because we was just, we just moved in. We just got off down at Kennedy Ambus Airport. So he came and he started to meet everybody in the townhouse family. And he loved it. He loved it. So as soon as it wasn't a perfect speaking yet, a perfect conversation, as soon as he started hearing what I was trying to explain to him, because he was really into the martial art, he was like, "Wow, I like this. I really like this." What Speedy Leg did, I went to his house. He took the martial art, and combined like the rocksteady style, the dynamic rocker style, the New York City breaker style, all in one as his own originality style, Speedy Legs. And Speedy Leg took it, but besides combining the style, Speedy Leg was beyond of the word style. Speedy Leg was a guy that had an athlete. He was an athlete. He had something that he wanted breaking to be more than what breaking was being shown as in the motion picture B Street.
Right. Rick Fernandez, also legendary. Mr. Flex, legendary historical person for breaking b-boy. Also in the area of South Florida, Speedy Leg, Rick Fernandez, a good friend of ours, and and also legendary, man. These people are like legends, and when it comes to like this particular moment in hip hop, because breaking is part of hip hop. It's the whole entire thing is part of the culture. Well, let me ask you a question. What did you see when it came to like music wise? What did you see in the area of the Bronx back in them days before you came through?
Okay, that's a good question. The Bronx, to be honest, if you're in it, in the Bronx, no talking, in it, you had like in Katona, the real address of Katona, because I used to see the thing is when I was living in Lower East Side Manhattan, Bernard, I used to walk. New York was a walking marathon. Let me be honest, with you, a walking marathon. You can just walk and continue to walk and walk and walk and walk, and it's no problem. You can go to your cousin's house from Manhattan to Bronx, no problem. You can
Hey,
keep walking.
Flex, give me a second. Now that you said something, I let me ask you one question. Where was you in the blackout of '77?
The blackout of '77. That's a good question.
Right?
I don't know. Right. I got you. I don't know if I'm in New York, if I'm living in New York, or by that time we moved into Hialeah.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're
That
talking
day
about.
is one day that New York lost the electricity, and everybody just had to go home like walking and this and that. Very historical news.
I pretty much I read something. I read something like that from the beginning.
Right.
But like I was telling you, you were telling me about the music, okay?
The music.
The beat. The thing is that in the Bronx, right? You had a thing in Fordham Road called Crazy Eddie's. Crazy Eddie's is like where you buy the turntables, the 1200 techniques, the mixer. Now, you know for a fact that to get two turntables, they wasn't really easy to get them. They were not easy. People might tell you they're easy to get them. They're not easy to get turntables, bro. The 1200 technique, the original, the one when you put the record and you spin it back. Those are the original turntables. The music in the South Bronx was created for that type of originality of people that was also from South Africa that was breaking to the break beats. And the one that originated that type of break beats was Kool Herc. Kool Herc from the South Bronx bring that kind of music, that really emotion, that excitement, that adventure into that 1 acre place where everybody used to just express their feelings through an introduction, through an up rocking. A lot of up rockers there, a lot of up rocking in the dancing, a lot of expression of the art form of up rocking to the music of Kool Herc, DJ Kool Herc.
Speedy, let me ask you a question because people are commenting. I don't know if you see the comments, but tell me, Tommy Cabret says ask Flex if he remembers a b-boy group called UFO.
A B-Bay group called UFO. That's a good one, good one. Because the only group that I remember UTFO, it was that one that go yo TMT. They go that girl, she all stuck up. And you say that because I seen a girl, word for words on it. The UTFO, Kango kid, and so on, etc., etc., etc. Yes, I do remember that. I do remember that group pretty much. But thinking it was New York again, New York that had that flavor of those type of 33 vinyls, Bernard. If you went into Miami, honest, when I got in there, when I got off the international airport, Miami, honest to God, was disco music at Rick's Bar. I know you remember Rick's Bar, Howard Johnson.
I remember
In
you.
Howard Johnson, a real address. It was Power 96. Remember Power 96?
Power.
Expo Jose.
Mm-hmm.
B. Cover girls. Show me you really love me. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da.
Well,
That was me in Rick's Bar. That was me in Speedy Legs. That was me and a couple of other guys that were in there in that acre place circle customized equipment in Rick's Bar. Rick's Bar was the place, bro. Rick's Bar was the place. It wasn't the only place because they had, if you remember Casanova.
Casanova.
Casanova, yeah.
It's
Company B.
Section.
Company B. Yeah, the music, what I'm saying is the real music, it was not hip hop, Bernard. I don't know, it was no hip hop. Trust me, no hip hop. When you went to Rick's Bar, honestly, honest, inside, where like they were checking IDs out and you had to have real IDs because a lot of people try to get in with fake IDs, right? And if they get caught with that, they close the place down because they're giving beer to minor, to younger, looking like they're older, like a sister make a sister look older for she can come in, right? Stuff like that. And a lot of tricks was going on inside the clubs. But let me tell you something. The music that the DJ was playing, if you remember Two Love Friends, Two Love Friends, Two Love Friends, Two Love Friends.
Yeah.
Right. No hip hop. I swear to God, no hip hop. No hip hop.
It was that new wave, that new sound. It was like a new sound.
Exactly.
I remember chilling. I remember chilling at the beat club because I was a teenager, and then
Right.
I remember that you hip hop people because I was more of a new wave at that particular moment. But hip hop had a night. I think it was like Friday. That's when I saw like you and I saw Speedy outside.
Uh-huh.
And then that new wave, that whole Miami sound, which included like Secret Society. Remember Secret Society?
Secret
later on?
Society, yes, correct. Well, let me tell you, when I'm living in Hialeah, if you knew me, honest to God, I was more like disco music, bro. I came from New York. Yeah, you're right, because I'm 2 years old, living in 183rd, and my mother's working in Yankee Stadium. We're trying to get it all together. We're trying to get established. We're trying to make it. Trying to really make it. But when I'm at Rick's Bar, honest, I'm Friday. Remember, it's not Friday that you go inside the club. You come out the next day, Bernard.
Saturday.
Exactly, Saturday.
And
The next day.
what I recall is Saturday was more for like GQ and new wave people. A lot of strange
Yep,
people, a lot of strange
exactly.
colors.
A lot. Oh man, trust
Strange
me
colors,
on
man.
that. Trust. I was there. I'm telling you, I'm there. But
Flex,
this is what I mean with the tail in the back, the DA. I'm telling you all of that. The
Yo,
three lines, everything. But what I'm trying to say is,
Flex, let me interrupt
yes.
you for a second.
Uh-huh.
Now I got a flashback. I remember seeing Dominatrix there at the beat club.
Exactly. Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Dominique.
Dominique.
The
There's a
women
song.
and the men beat on their drums, and the Dominatrix
Yes.
leaves tonight. I remember seeing them. I also remember seeing
Yeah.
the Information Society with their song "Running." Remember "Running"?
Running. Yes. I remember
And
running. You're
I'm
right.
hard to find it, and I'm running so fast.
Yes. Let me tell you something.
Tommy is right here. He says that he remembers seeing you at the beat club, and he said we battle in Castle Park. Castle Park.
Okay. Now let me tell you something. That's right. Castle Park on Thursday. Now, if you was in real Castle Park, remember, it was all video games. Remember that? All
Yep.
video games. They used to break inside Castle Park. Inside the Castle Park. It was a real castle park. But when you went inside Rio, it was customized with all types of video games.
The good old days, bro.
Yeah.
And then,
And the
okay,
music, and I'm gonna tell you, when I was again, when I was look, I was at Rick's Bar. I was at Casanova. I was at Strawberry. Now we're talking.
strawberry,
Remember the area. We're just acting. We only mentioning the area of Miami, Hialeah. Now
Hialeah.
you talk about Backstreet. If you're familiar with Backstreet, we talk about Club Echo. We talk about 1235. When Nice and Wild was at 1235 or Backstreet, I was there with Reggie, Jacho, Remy, the CJ. I mean, everybody that has to do with the work called the group Nice and Wild. When they were singing Diamond Girl, tú me haces sentir. Estoy el fuego junto a ti. Tú me castigas con tu amor. Te quiero dar todo mi calor. Mi niña de mi amante, si tú eres. I was there at 1235
Yeah.
or 1235 or Backstreet. When Remy said, look
Question.
at Flex, they're up on stage. I'm there with my sister Maria. I arrived there on a BMW. I was drinking an expensive drink in the car that has a star inside the bottle, decorated real
Right.
nice bottle with my sister Maria. But what I'm trying to tell you
Right.
is, Berna, that if you was really in that area that I'm talking inside the clubs, there was no hip hop, honest. Now, you know what record? They might have played like song 33. They played, remember that one? It takes two to make the thing go right. You heard that one from Rob Bass. Yeah, I heard that.
It,
I heard that. I heard
it,
that
it,
in it, inside the DJ playing it. But how about
the flex. The flex. Let me interrupt you here for a second. I do remember early 80s. I do remember. I was in love with like the stuff that Africa Bambaataa did.
Planet Rock.
Planet Rock and Body Mechanic and
Body Mechanic, yeah, Body
Bad
Mechanic.
Mechanic and yeah, all them tracks that came. That early '80s stuff. You know what I'm saying? I remember like the big boom box and man, what a beautiful era, man. I was like, I was telling Speedy that I was like 11 years old when I first met him. Because
Right, yeah,
that's when I remember you guys,
right.
doing everything. Like I remember you guys chilling at the that very smooth floor on the high school HML, Hialeah, Miami Lake.
HML, yeah, HML,
That
yeah,
smooth floor. It had a beautiful smooth floor, and you
right.
guys, nighttime, you went in there and you was breaking. You used to do some practicing there.
Some practice there, yeah, that's correct. Actually, we did the practice outside, right, like you said, outside the school in the front. That's real. I practiced in the back in the basketball court where there was like four beautiful rims. I practiced inside the school where it's got a cold ice water fountain, okay, inside the school escuela. And I practiced also in auditoriums inside Hialeah, Miami Lakes. Inside Miami Lakes. So,
Okay,
but when we was there, when we was actually there, Frosty Ice, a Speedy Legs, a couple of other guys, we were in the front of Hialeah practicing on that smooth floor. That's
yeah,
correct.
very unique.
But
It's a very
now,
unique
I
moment.
don't know if you remember. Let me tell you, I don't know if you remember. I want to clear out this real good, real good. I don't know if you remember Hooligans.
Yeah, yeah.
Hooligans. When you went to Hooligans, everyone that went in there, if it was a lawyer, if it was a high school guy, university guy, the high school diploma, certificates, degrees, everybody was going, go Dolphin, go Dolphin, go Dolphin. You know what they went in there for? Because they were going for the jugs of beers and
Yeah.
hooligans, Miami Lake hooligans, the jug of beer. My sister used to go in there with a whole bunch of girls because one of my baby sister, she's a fourth grade teacher in Miami right now, but she don't start in August. My baby sister, she was in hooligans. She was a cheerleader for the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, Flex.
Her name's Elizabeth.
Let me say a couple of words here because I got some new people coming through to the platform and they want to know who you is. Okay, so right here on the screen I have legendary breakdancing b-boy breakdance Mr. Flex. This is the very first person I ever saw breakdancing over here in the area of South Florida. Basically, I think he pioneered the movement over here in South Florida. So that's what we got over here. The rest is just history. Like if you're from South Florida and you remember that time, you must have seen this particular man over here doing it. And we were all like at odds right here. Like, man, what is this? What is he doing? What is this beautiful dance? You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you. So what I want to know now is, that meeting and this unity that you started having with Speedy Leg, and what did you do? How did what did you guys do from there on that that made the movement so big in our South Florida area?
Okay, that's a good question there. Okay, that really movement, the real movement, honest, or the brain to that movement, or the skull to the movement, was original Speedy Legs.
Speedy Legs.
Speedy Legs arranged that with all kinds of guys. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody that wanted to be honest with this kind of how would I put it to you? With this kind of concept, this kind of brilliant idea. It worked out. It worked beautiful. So that's if you knew in Miami, right? This is I want to get this right, and I want to get this real clear. I was telling you, like I said, at Rich Part, the disco music, when hip hop came into the clubs of Miami, the DJ, I'm talking about like the DJ, like if you know DJ Grace, the word DJ Grace, when they play that music on the equipment of the 1200 techniques, let me tell you, Bernard, an impact, a real impact, changed the person. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by changing the person. It changes a person by speaking, by an attitude, by a shirt, by your pants, by your belt, by your socks, by shoes, by walking. Everything that had to do with hip hop, that movement has actually it changed the person to be another person in that particular style and character, attitude of what the hip hop culture movement was all about. That was a hard impact for me.
Yeah. Yeah, because you came from New York, and you must have been like over here like an alien, man. Because we at that time we rocked it different, and you come with that New York swag, that New York everything,
Yeah.
and you was. I bet you was probably like because I remember seeing you like just staring at you. Did a lot of people just stare at you like what's up, man? You're not gonna say anything like what's up? But people just like
Right.
they had you shocked them. I remember being shocked when I saw you spinning like them
Yeah.
legs. I'm like, what is this, bro?
Yeah,
And
because
that changed everything for me, bro. That just like changed everything.
right.
That moment I saw you doing that in your house. Basically, I had an encounter with history, with the future. Like little did I know what I was witnessing was going to be a global movement. You was gonna change my everything, my perspective in me and everything, bro. Like
Right.
you doing that. I'm like, yo, man. You know what I'm saying? Little did I know that particular night, my whole world just changed, bro, and all of it because
Right.
of you. You came through from New York. At that particular time, there was no social media, so basically, you brought that contagious virus in, that beautiful dance virus,
Right.
musical. You brought it in, and you got in touch with Speedy Leg, and you just spread that beautiful, contagious, beautiful dance virus all over South Florida.
Yeah, pretty much we spread it like you said, you're correct. We spread it pretty much all over South Florida. But what I'm trying to tell you is that remember, there was particular areas where we used to all meet up, right? If you remember Costa Cafe, 10th Street and Ocean, Miami Beach. That's what Speedy Lay used to set up with Almighty Chilsky. Almighty Chilsky, Zulu Gremlin. You had guys from New York coming in. Now, they had something like, if you remember Flamingo Park. Flamingo Park was like, they were set up with the graffiti exhibition, the breakdancing exhibition, the breakdancing competition, the MC and the DJ, after the after parties. Everybody that was in this Flamingo when the name was called the hip hop elements. Hip hop
Let,
elements. So what I'm,
Flex,
so,
Flex,
yeah.
let me ask you a question because Tommy is over here asking questions in the comment. I don't know if you can see it. And then Tommy from Carol City, he said Carol City ran that shit. What do you think of that?
Ran what? What you talking about?
He probably say like Carol City ran that, like, because this is the person that says that he used to be in that group UFO over here in Miami. And he's from Carol
UFO.
City.
That name sound familiar. Well, let me tell you, I'm not gonna try to say something that I don't know anything about it whatsoever. I know Carol City used to break because in Carol City, who they had in Carol City wasn't. I'm correct. Wasn't the city Miami Breakers? City Breakers?
Yeah, let him respond to
Bernard?
that. Yeah, let him respond. He's gonna respond to that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So while he responds to that, hooligan. When did you see? What year did more imports, more people, imports from New York coming through? Like people you knew from New York, they started chilling over here in Miami, helping you guys out. And
Okay, that's a good question. When that really happened, when that happened right there, like you said, right? Um, that year took place to me. Basically, I think the year was in 1983 or in 1984. That's when I saw like all these b-boys gathering around from across from 10th Street and Ocean Drive, Miami Beach, from Osta Cafe. If you remember Osta, remember the pool that had a
yeah,
fiberglass on top?
yeah,
Speedy Leg used to break on top of the fiberglass headspin. I got pictures here. But what I'm saying is, they used to break on top of the fiberglass of the pool, or they used to break across from it. Now, Miami Beach had a ballroom, right? It was a ballroom that I remember. It was a big thing with the big acre place, the big customized rooms with bars and everything. But not at 3:30 in the morning, 3:30, they're breakdancing inside the acre place. They're breaking at 3:30 in the morning, breaking at 4 o'clock in the morning. If you saw what the ballroom looked like in Miami South Beach at that time, you go, wow, that is incredible. It will go to the next day when
Flex,
all the doors starts opening up from the ballroom.
Flex. Let me stop you there for a second because Tommy just he responded to the question. He says, "No, bro, we were MCC breakers, Miami Carol
MC?
MCC breakers, the Carol
Yes. I think I remember something like that. I think so. I
MCC."
might. I might remember something.
Let me ask you a question. Who did you see come down from New York, like over here? Once you were here, then who famous b-boy breaker came down? Who was you responsible for importing to Miami from New York?
Ken Swift, Little Man from the Seven Deadly Sins,
Hmm.
Fast Break, Zulu Gremlin,
Although,
and others. And there was more. There was more. There was more names that they used to pick up at the International South Florida Airport on a break-in van. That Speedy Legs had a b-boy van, but they had a van that was actually just the purpose to go pick up the b-boys at the airport.
right. Let me fast forward this a moment. Now that I'm thinking about it, let me ask you one question. Did Hollywood mess up the whole breaking movement? What happened there? What was your feelings on this when they started releasing all them movies in Hollywood? How was you
Okay,
feeling?
okay, that's another good question. But nah, I was in Santa Monica and Beverly Hills. Let's pay attention, careful. When I'm in Santa Monica, I'm doing the movie Body Rock. You heard of the movie Body Rock?
Yes, sir.
Lorenzo Lamas is the principal actor in the movie. Now, if you watch Body Rock from the beginning to ending, you're gonna see me in the movie. You're gonna see how I'm dressed. You're gonna see what I got on. You're gonna see a real thing says flex with all English letters. Okay, who I am, knowing that movie there. But what I'm trying to tell you is that when they started inside in Hollywood, right? To
Yeah,
actually really filmed it, and really coming out with the motion picture. Hollywood, Bernard, was no movie. There was not filming no movie. Nothing. It was really when you went into those clubs that were famous, popular, celebrities, Academies Award, what else? Awards. Period. In California, Santa Monica, Beverly Hills. I was at the Comedy Store. I was there with Charlie Chaplin. I was there with Derry Lewis, Dick and Dove, Abbott and Costello, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. At the Comedy Store, it's called drinking a cocktail with all the fruits around the cup, real nice, real good, tasteful drink. Now, remember Hollywood, like you said, they had a JoJo, studio, all full of mirrors in front. They're doing professional, coordinated, choreographed routines that are being practiced over and over and over again. If you remember Thriller from Michael Jackson, to
Yes, sir.
put that scene into a motion picture,
Yeah. Speedy, let
that's
me ask
what made Hollywood develop.
Speedy, let me ask. I mean, Flex, let me ask you a question. How did you get scouted for all the Hollywood movies? Who saw you? How did this negotiation happen that you ended up in these motion pictures? Did you get scouted over here in Miami, or you went to Hollywood?
Well, you want to know something? When I was in Miami, inside Miami, in Miami Rio, they were calling me from Hollywood. I mean, excuse me, from California to come into Hollywood. Think about this. I'm in Miami and they want me to go to California. When I go to California, they said, "This is Mr. Flex." They're hearing from me from Santa Monica, Bernard, inside Miami, Florida.
Well,
Yep.
wow.
Just like that. Just like I told you. Like that's I understand what you're saying. How did the connection came through?
How did that connect? Like, yeah,
How did
well,
yeah,
I don't know. It
how,
was
how did
you was that particular moment. Yeah.
how did
Say
the
it.
connection came through?
How did that connection came through?
Right. That's let me tell you, that's a good question. But what I'm saying, when I was in Miami, remember in Miami, all the clubs that I was dancing in South Florida, Bernard, somebody heard about me. Pay attention. They heard about me from Florida into Alice, California. From the breaking, the competition, the circles. I mean, I was in a whole bunch of circles. In some kind of way, I bump in, like, like when you're in a nightclub, Allegros or something like that, somebody says, "I'm a producer. Flex, Mr. Flex, here's my card. I'm going back to California. Call this number back in California." I really call it. They said, "Flex, we're going to arrange a ticket and everything for you to come down."
Flex, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So, because the other day I had Speedy Legs. Speedy couldn't be here today, but like I
Right,
told
right,
you, yeah, one episode is not going to be enough. We're gonna need a series of episode between you, Speedy, and more people. I want more people to
more
join in,
people, more
more
people,
people
right? Yeah.
to say the history of this phenomenon that went global, bro. Okay, so
Well, yeah,
Speedy's this is what he said. He said that you went back home to New York like every year. Okay, that you was in Miami, but you used to go back to New York. Every time
right.
you went back home to New York, how did you feel? Like, what happened? What was you doing? Like, when you went back, what did you do in that particular time in New York when it comes to dancing?
Okay, now the real intentions that I went to New York on, because I was staying when I went to New York, right from Miami. Look, let me tell you something. When I was in Hialeah, the townhouse is there right now as I'm speaking, right now.
Yep,
They came to pick me up in the townhouse. You know who came to pick me up? You know Joe Granda?
Brenda.
Joe Granda.
Oh, Joe Granda, of course, the
Joe
maker
Granda.
of Night
Okay.
Wild.
He came
Joe Granda,
he came to he came to the house, right? In a
the
van.
writer, of Diamond Girl. Joe
The
Granda
right
is the writer of the legendary freestyle track
yes.
Diamond Girl. His name is Joe Granda, a very huge executive from Miami. I mean, this guy has done real big things in the music industry around the world. So Joe Granda came through. You was in your townhouse and Joe came through.
Joe came through. Now, a van arrives, right? I don't know anything. The door slides. It's about 6 seats in it. The FBI crew gets out
The FBI.
from the van. Flex, all emotion, everything. Now, the guy that was driving the van, it was Pito and Mikey's father. He's a fisherman. Pito and Mikey's father, he's a fisherman. He's driving a van. As Joe Granda went into the townhouse in the I believe in the kitchen or something like that. He was in a balcony first outside. He said, Flex, I need you to sign the contract. I need you to put your name on the contract. We're going from here now to Roseland in New York. So I gotta sign it, get in the van, and go and pay the token and make it in New York highway, in the highway, in 24 hours at the club called Roseland. But we stop where there's Roseland. There's a building on top where it says Hell's Kitchen. It's like a painting, like a master art form expression of a painting that says Hell's Kitchen. On top, it's connected to a building. So I go in there to a Puerto Rican's house to take a shower, a woman, and get ready to go to Roseland. I'm in back of the line. They're looking for me. I'm like a normal person that's going to pay $12 to go in. They say, where's Flex? Oh, he's in back of the line. Flex, come on. You got to go to the dressing room. Get ready. You got to put makeup, everything. Okay, boom. This is Joe Granda. So what I'm trying to tell you is, this
Flex,
is
Flex, Flex, let me stop you there for a second. Quick question. Nice and Wild was the FBI crew before they were Nice and Wild.
There were the FBI crew before they were Nice and Wild. That's correct. Yeah. But see, so you know what happened, Bernard? Something happened. Something happened real bad, Bernard. Super bad. That we got to get into another episode on that. That, you're making it. Uno está subiendo. You're making it. And suddenly, bro, Bernard, I hit ground. I hit concrete. Something happened super hard. I mean, the hardest you could imagine. And I get everything. I get cut off of everything. But when I was in Roseland again, I did Roseland, I did Funhouse. The same time that we did everything in New York, right? The next day, back in the van, back to Hialeah, dropping me off. Everybody in the van, back to 7th Avenue Flea Market, the FBI crew. That is Peter and Mikey's father driving the van.
Flex, let me ask you a question. Did you did New York after you was in Miami and you got a lot of influence from other things, like for example, Speedy with his whatchamacall, the whole, he was into the whole martial arts and different what do I want to say, influence from different things. Did you influence your people in New York when you went back to New York? In your style, was it different every time you went back there? Did you influence them, or when you went back up there, it was all about you learning more? Were they advancing? Did South Florida, did they have like a different style of breakdancing? Was there something different?
Okay, yeah, there was something different. Definitely there was something different on the style, on the movement, on the move spirit. Who dared to do it? Who don't dare? Who put the head into? Who put the heart? With all respect, who had the balls for that? Right? Real. Now, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When I went to New York, I was staying in my grandfather's house because I was out there. I used to go to Roxy's. Roxy is where they filmed the movie B Street. But Bernard, there was no motion picture B Street. It was the club called Roxy's. Roxy's. I'm not in Roxy's, Bernard. I'm in a punk rock club. Remember that record that goes ding, 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 whip it. Ding, 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 ding. You never seen, right? You never seen so much village people, 14th Street, Uptown Manhattan, in a punk rock club. Trust me. I will go to Dunkin' Donuts at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll start in the punk rock club around 5 o'clock in the morning after I came out of Dunkin' Donuts and got me a hot chocolate milk at a Dunkin' Donut, Bernard. So much music, punk rock. The hair, remember the mohawk with all different colors?
Yeah.
The nose with so many earrings, tribulations. The lip with 12 earrings. The earring like 12 earrings. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
This is in the club. Pump rock. How about the one YMCA? No?
YMCA.
MCA, yeah. So then, this was after Roxy's. Right after Roxy, around 5 o'clock in the morning, we used to go to Dunkin' Donuts, go to the Pump Rock Club, come out of the Pump Rock Club about 7 in the morning, get on the train, Bernard, and go straight to Coley Island. They had an event that starts in Coley Island right after the Pump Rock Club. Everybody that was in that train, Bernard, was the Rocksteady crew.
Hmm.
Going to Coley Island. The
But
sun is coming out.
So,
about six.
so let me stop you there for a second because I'm under the impression that okay, so you learned this, this art form in the Bronx, but you became like an ambassador of the art form on because you went out to different clubs, all kinds of different clubs all over the place,
Different clubs, yes.
and that's where people like they start. That's where you started exporting the contagious movement from the Bronx all the way on a on a national level and then now international level. Uh,
Right.
but did you like once in a while? Did you
Wait a minute. Give me a second. Give me a second.
go ahead, sir? We're talking to legendary
Yes.
Mr. Flex. Right now, he's in Germany. I think it's like about 2 o'clock in the morning, but he's not
Yeah.
sleeping. Okay, so Flex. Okay, did you like besides all the traveling and all the exposure you gave to the art form of breaking, b-boy breaking, by going out there and exposing it to the world? Did you come through with your crew in those streets of the Bronx once in a while, and you practice with your people, with where it was born?
Yeah. But this is the honest to God question, Bernard. That you said something there. In the Bronx, the word called the South Bronx. Nobody taught me breakdancing, Bernard. It said I was practicing. Look, let me tell you, when I was there, right, practicing in university, the real address, they would see me do the backspin. They said, let me practice the backspin. Let's go to Wharton School, only for boys. Let's go to Clinton School, high school in New York, inside. Let's practice a lot. Let's put on the tiny spot necks. Let's put on the turtlenecks. Let's put on the BBT that you can get a better, faster spin, feel fast with a BBT. And let's put a jacket, a warm up jacket. Let's put a windbreaker, right? So when we was all practicing, everybody was learning from everybody. The thing about inside the Bronx, like you said, is that I had original flexibility. I had the spider. I had the backswing with legs in the neck. I had the back to neck head hit the back neck. They saw me do it, and everybody said, "I like that." Everybody's looking. They said, "I'm gonna practice that." Now you could practice it and keep it the same way that I did it. You could practice it and apply it to something that you want to put your heart into it and change it around from what the move that you saw.
Flex, let me ask you a question. Who was the very first person you ever saw making the first movement of going on on the floor, like the first symptoms you saw of breakdancing, like the very first people you saw doing this beautiful art form?
Honest,
On,
honest,
on,
honest.
on a I want to say like the very first beginning of it. What's your recollection of that?
Honest from like the schools that I went to, because I went to Catholic strict school. I went to public PS 152. I
I
went
want
to
to say
PS 52.
like, so the word is primitive. That primitive breakdancing. The very first times that someone dared to go on the floor. Who was that person that you saw doing this unique, attempting this unique style?
Everybody at the same time. You had like a helicopter move, something like that. A helicopter on the floor. I could have been the guy doing the helicopter. I could have been me, myself, doing it, going down for the first time. Somebody's going down in the Bronx for the first time. Somebody's doing it in Brooklyn the first time. Somebody's doing it in Queens the first time. Somebody's doing it in Bridgeport, Connecticut the first time. Somebody's doing it in Manhattan the first time. It all depends, but how you call it, and what barrel are you really talking about? See,
Yeah.
because if you say the Bronx, I'm gonna say the Floor Master. If you go into Uptown Manhattan, I'm gonna say Rocksteady Crew. If you go to Queens, I'm gonna say Dynamic Rockers. So all depends. All depends. Now, if you went to the Ritz, the work called the Ritz, that one that was for the $500 dance contest. Wow, you see so much b-boys, Bernard. at the Ritz is called. The pants with the shoelaces, if you remember, they used to tie them up to the knee. Puffy pants, they look Huevo pants. You see so much style, so much technique at the Ritz for the $500 breakdance contest.
Let me read you a couple of comments over here. We got Henry and let me see. Hold on. Let me read you a couple of them.
Yes.
Ask him about rocking and top rocking. I don't even know what that means. Rocking and top rocking.
Rocking and top rocking?
Uh-huh.
From my own opinion, it was like Fabo Patron from Ghetto Original Rocksteady. It was King Uprock from what is it? What is that group again? The King Uprock. It's a group. It's a name of a group. From Queens, from real Queens. They're the guys that like originated Uprock. You go into the real boogie, the real freestyle South Bronx, real freestyle. Hafi. You go to the real dancers that were knowing for the uprocking. Nothing to do with introduction, nothing to do with footwork, nothing to do with breakdancing, just uprocking. You have to know the real name of the group that you're talking about in the real New York City. To me, was a King Uprock. That was one of them. What's more, there's way more Brooklyn. Something Brooklyn in there.
Right. So every time, so I want to know, what I want to understand is your feelings every time you went back home. So you in South Florida, and then you being, all this influence of this Latino, what we do over here in South Florida is, very diverse culture over here with just a different style.
Yes.
So you're getting all this influence in this whole Latino from South Florida, and all these clubs that you said, like Rick's Bar and all them good old bars from South Florida, and then you go back home. So how do you feel when you back home? How do you feel like artistically? I wanna understand how you felt like artistically when you went back home, and then you found out that particular year you learned something new, that you was influenced by, you being influenced by a different.
Right. You mean when, what you mean when I went to New York City, or you saying when I'm coming back to Miami?
No, okay. So you came to Miami the very first time, but I hear from Speedy that once in a while you went back to New York. So
that's correct.
What I want to know is
great grandmother.
What I want to know is that so you're here, and then you're being influenced because you're in South Florida, and we're rocking a bit different than New York over here, and all that influence you're getting that influence. And when you go back home, how did you feel when you went back home to that particular Flex that came out of New York? Because basically it was an encounter with your own self, maybe 3 or 4 years before. How did you feel?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. But honest, to be real honest, I feel real different, man. Real different on that. Super different. Because as soon as you get off that plane right there, that thing called John F. Kennedy Airport, it's a different world, Bernard. It's a different world. Trust me, different world. You feel like, wow, I'm in New York. When you come to Miami, you also like, wow, I'm in Miami. But Miami has the Miami-based music, has the locking, has the way how they dance, has the, all this thing that's going, the real the real cultura of real Miami. So it's a big, huge difference when you take the plane, like I said, and said, I arrive at correct that. I arrive at John F. Kennedy campus airport. It's a huge, big difference.
Okay,
huge, big difference.
All right, so let me remember. This is the very first episode of many episodes, because I'm a big man. I love this. What we're talking about. This is passion for me right here, man. I love everything that happened. Not only that, but it was so beautiful, and the proof is in the pudding, like they say, because it's so legit. And when I say legit, this thing is global now. We got Flex right here. Well, he's not even right here. Flex is right now. He's in Germany. Flex, okay, how did you see this? Well, let me ask you this question, and we'll cut it off because we're 1 hour in this, so we can keep on talking about this one.
Okay.
When did you see this movement go international? What did you see? The real
As
time,
eh,
yeah.
right, as international, what in Miami, New York?
No,
What you talk?
international.
Tokyo?
No, okay, so this is my recollection, and I was not even like a breaker like you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Right,
just a guy from South Florida. I love the arts, but you was like into the culture. So because of Hollywood, it went silent there for a couple of years, and then we are all thinking that it was just a fade. So we was a fade. So we hear that breaking. And I remember telling Speedy Leg, Speedy said, "Yo, this shit is coming back," and I remember saying, "Yo, that's not coming back. It's done already." Little did I know, the Speedy was completely correct. It
right.
did not. It did not really come back over here, but what it did was it went global.
It went global. Okay. Now
Global.
let me try to explain that. Let me try to explain that to you. The reason, Bernard, it goes global like that, worldwide. It goes global. Pay attention careful. Is because everybody that's a person, right? As a film director, a guy that writes, a real writer. I write. No, I'm a writer, real writer. A publisher, somebody is going to put an article into a magazine, somebody is going to write a real book, right? Take all the years to write the book, right? They saw that if they can put this honest out and expose it to the real earth at the right time, the right moment, the right calendar schedule, that this was going to be a worldwide huge globe, real true multi-billionaire business in the word called just those two words, hip hop. And that's why they took the time, the real time. They didn't waste the time. They said, this is the time to make the movie. This is the time to get Mr. Flex in this picture. This is the time to get Azra. This is the time to get this guy, to get Skate, to get TK, to get this guy, this guy, this guy. Now, when I mean getting this guy, remember, like you said, maybe somebody you was dancing in Allegros. Maybe you was in Skyline Express when DJ Muhammad's upstairs in the customized booth and Run DMC is there alive. LL Cool J's there alive doing I Can't Live Without My Radio. Somebody inside see you breakdancing, so you get on the mic or something, right? Mighty Rock Double Deuce, DJ Nasty Knot. They said, here's my car. I'm from California. Call me. You look at the car. You're in Skylight Express. You don't drink. You're supernatural, pure energy, real. You look and says, call me tomorrow. Don't forget. You call. Boom. You start talking. You get a real conversation going. Next thing you know, they said, boom. Hey, I'm leaving. Where you leaving? I'm leaving to California.
Hmm.
With that kind of hookup, remember the card that was probably giving in Skylight Express. Maybe it was giving at the Beat Club. Maybe it was down some in a party in Miami South Beach, in the Fountain Blue. Maybe it was down in Casanova, in the real acre places, Bernard, that you can say this person, maybe it was an accident. Maybe it's luck. Maybe it's just being lucky. At the time there, the right time in the moment, here's my card.
Okay,
Call
yeah,
me.
you was always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty much.
Yeah, Henry says, ask Flex what he thinks was the best old school b-boy battle ever.
Um, okay, that's a good one. You know which one is in New York? New York, Bernard, I'm gonna tell you like this. The manager, pay attention, the manager, Michael Holman, is the manager of the New York City Breakers. The real manager, Michael Holman, I repeat, was the real manager of the Rocksteady crew. The Rocksteady crew. That battle that you're talking about right now was when Rocksteady battled Dynamic Rockers, Uptown Manhattan, and Lincoln Center. Lincoln Center, Uptown Manhattan, a down by law history battle that takes place in Lincoln Center, a real address. This shit came out in newspaper. It came out in 2020. It came out in Channel 7. Alice. Boom. This is it. This is New York. I'm talking about New York. That was the biggest battle in New York City.
New York City. And over here in Miami, South Florida.
In my, that's another good question. Like I said, you had the big ballroom. You had so many crews out here. One of the most popular ever crew in South Florida was the Street Masters.
Hmm.
From my opinion, remember, my opinion. Everybody has different opinions. Different opinions, but
what could you drop some names of who was in this particular group, Street Masters?
wow, that's good, man. That's really good. I don't remember it like that. I know B-boys that do know the name, but I don't remember Corona something. I don't remember the name like that.
Right.
Now, in the Street Masters, you had Kid Freeze. You had Kid Freeze and you had Pablo Rock.
We gotta get
That
all.
they just
Yeah, we gotta get all the people in here, man. I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna get all these people in here so we can talk more about this historic moment in music, man. You know,
yes.
you can't say the story of hip hop that is a billion-dollar business. You know, the best movement in the world at this particular moment without mentioning this breaking. You know, I think breaking. Dancing, the vocals, hip hop, singing, and also graffiti was also
Graffiti,
involved in
yeah.
it.
The four elements. The four elements.
What's the fourth element?
The fourth element, you have the graffiti, you have the DJ,
The DJ.
you have the MC, and then you have the B-boys.
I like that. The four elements. I like that, Flex. I like that a lot. So Tommy says that I got Tommy over here. He's like, "Yo, tell Flex that I battle Speedy in McDonald's Park."
You know what? Me and Speedy, that's a good question. Me and Speedy, we used to be right there, McDonald Park. You know that McDonald Bernard is renewed. You know that, no? McDonald's renewed. Where Speedy lives is renewed. The houses, the healthcare for children, everything is brand new over there, Bernard. Everything's brand new. I believe even Hialeah Miami Lake School is brand new.
Yeah, I've been there. I,
Yeah.
you know, I take that ride into memory lane once in a while because now I'm at, I live in Boca Raton now, but you know, once in a while,
okay.
Boca Raton. So once in a while, I just take that. Well, my family still lives down in Kendall, so while I come by the Palmettos, once in a while, I get off and I just go. I like to. It was good times, bro. You know, it makes me feel good. I go to 74th Street. I go all over that projects. I go to McDonald's Park. I go to HML. I used to live in them buildings by HML and the one in front, HML. Like 79 and 12. The four buildings over there.
Yeah. Across is the bus that goes to Okeechobee. The bus that goes to Okeechobee.
Well, and I can close my eyes and see the townhouse where you used to live.
Right. Exactly. But let me tell you,
that little shopping center over there by that little shopping center over there by 84 and 8th Street. What was that shopping center? Little shopping center. I remember that little shopping center over there.
I got it. I got a picture. I can send it to you. I'll send it to you.
There was a pharmacy there. My father, mom used to go to that pharmacy. I don't remember now.
Farmacia. Yeah, I remember. In the corner where you're talking about is a restaurant. And they serve the people outside from the restaurant.
Joe, the restaurant. I remember that restaurant. Like a lot of people from like the factories around there used to. They still go there and have
exactly from the factories where you got Yoo-Hoo, the company Yoo-Hoo, and then you have Burger King.
Yoo-Hoo. Yeah, and all them factories. They took a lot of them factories down because of the expressway.
Yes.
And then they built that I-75 expressway over there. Yeah. I remember bike riding all over that place.
You don't remember the Blue Angels that they used to do every year across from the Vista Garden Cemetery?
Yeah. And Opalaka,
the Blue Angels, every year across from Burger King.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, Rick Fernandez, he's here. Danny Colasso, Henry Vargas, Willie Perez Ruben. Check it. Yeah. I guess he's tagging somebody over here.
Okay.
I do recall. You guys also? I remember seeing you guys patrolling the area, like in New York, with the what's the patrol group over there in New York? The Angels.
The angels. You mean the guardian angels
The guardian angels. I
protecting people in
I
the trains? Yes,
I think I remember like Speedy, for a moment there, uh, being a guardian angel over here in Miami.
guardian angels. Red berets, green berets.
I don't remember, but I don't remember exactly the color, but I do remember Speedy. Uh,
Yeah,
you know, doing that, guarding the streets over there in by McDonald's Park for a moment there with a bunch of people.
and a bunch of people. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So let this one be the very first one, Flex. I want to be able to get
Right,
everybody, man.
right,
Let's man, help me out, man. Let's go, you and I and Speedy, and this investigation report,
right.
historical, very
Hmm.
much needed historical investigation report about breakdance. Every
Right,
all this hip hop stuff that happened in the South Florida, especially South Florida. You
right.
know, because when it comes to you got South Florida and you got California history. You went all over the place.
Yeah, most I went I was in Hawaii with I was in Hawaii, Bernard, with you know what a Miss Pageant is?
Uh-huh.
I was in Hawaii in the Miss Pageant, staying in a hotel, super ambition, super hunger. I did the Miss Pageant on stage with all the girls around the world. I had the staff across the Miss Pageant.
Flex, Speedy Leg says, Bernie, tell Flex I'm watching. He knows. He knows you're watching. And
Yes,
yeah. And the idea is, I'm really in love with this particular topic over here. I want to be able for us to just like make an investigative report that will never finish, because I'm pretty
right,
sure
right.
that finish, man.
Well,
There's so
I'm gonna
much
be
more.
right. I'm gonna be honest. You can hear, okay, you might hear what we're talking, right? How we trying to talk it and how we trying to express it and what type of feelings we got about it, right? The feeling of our heart, the feeling of el sentido. But what I'm trying to tell you is, Bernard, it's beyond, trust me, way beyond of what your eyesight think, of what hip hop culture, the movement of the globe worldwide, of what it is right now, right exactly now, the date of today, the time of today, what it's really all about. Let me
Flex,
tell you what's going. Let me tell you.
before you go any further, I want to ask this one to you, and I know Speedy Leg is also right here. Okay, whenever you see these young people doing something that you guys pioneered, your generation literally made,
Mhm.
what is the feeling? What happens when you are in one of them places and this little ones are doing what you guys invented, your generation? What do you feel, man?
Okay, that's a really good one. A very, very excellent question. You know what it makes you feel? It makes you feel proud that you can pick up your chin. It makes you feel proud that you can pick up your chin. You know why? When I say pick up your chin, because you're watching as something as being a pioneer, a legend, a celebrity, a ghetto, living where we come from, coming out from the places that we came from, taking it out somewhere else that we never knew that we can take it, that we can take a plane. When somebody is actually seeing it and is pretty much got the real hunger, or triple the hunger, more than you got it, and they really pick it up and learn it and apply it to their own kinds of way of doing it, or doing it the original way of form of taking, following the instructions step by step, that is an excellent feeling, because what it is that you are growing something, you're seeing it, and at the same time, you are growing someone else into that particular movement and style and technique, basic, fundamental, rooted constructively, nursing the next guy that is willing to do that type of dance. Because it's
Right.
not only one type of dance, Bernard, it's not one type of dance. It's beyond one type of dance. Beyond one type of dance. So imagine it. So you to see it and say, wow, look, he's really doing the footwork. Man, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Flex,
I'm gonna get a
let me
Cuban coffee and a Butelo Pico.
yeah. Let me read you two comments over here. One
Right.
asking and the other one answering to that particular comment. So Henry asked, Henry, where you go? Henry said, ask him about Kali, Ozone, and Turbo. And then Milo responded, Turbo is actually Boogaloo Shrimp. He was dope. Ozone sucked. That's the answer. Somebody said this.
Okay, now that's from the. Let me tell you right there, Bernard. I was there. I was in Santa Monica. That is the motion picture. Breaking one with Shabadu and Turbo, Popping P, Little Coco, the girl that's doing the dance movement. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember a guy in Miami called Skate, Cool Skate, at the P
I
Club?
heard. That's right. I heard. I heard.
He, he's in Breaking, in the movie Breaking.
Why you what happened why weren't you guys like you and Speedy in this particular movies like Breaking? I know
God,
you were with Lorenzo because you was in Cali. You were in the one with
exactly.
Lorenzo.
With Lorenzo, yes, correct. I was
Yeah.
with Lorenzo.
But you
Lorenzo
you,
left.
you why didn't you make it to Breaking and you know.
Wow, wow. Let me tell you, that's a good question. Bernard, from Santa Monica. You remember the portable phones with the rubber antenna, and then you dial with the fingertip digit, and it's the numbers are digit are electronic digit like the portable phone. Seen it with the rubber antenna. So
Yeah,
they
I
said,
remember.
Flex, someone's on the phone for you. I'm filming. I'm in California. Trust me, I'm filming. I get on the phone and say, who is it? It's me. I'm pregnant. I said, what are you talking about? I'm pregnant. I'm filming a movie. What you talking about? You know what I did, Bernard? Pay attention. I left everything, brother. Everything. Went to go live at Wynwood. When I got to Wynwood from California, that I arrived, the baby was in La Cunita. I take the merry-go-round horse and turn it on. The horse, I kiss her in the cheek. I never seen her got delivered in the hospital, cuando le cortan el bulicore.
Uh-huh.
She said Winwood living. If you remember DJ Raw that had a yellow bus and converted it inside to DJ equipment, antennas coming out, customized by DJ Raw. He took a
Yeah.
street, turned it into entertainment for the family and kids. Well, I was living in Winwood. When I went to Winwood, Bernard, I never went back to California. I'm
Mhm.
there with the baby. I can send you the pictures and you'll see it.
Winwood when it wasn't looking like it's looking right now. Right now, Winwood is. I don't know if you've been here lately. Winwood is looking right. Winwood is beautiful over there now, and I love the culture over there. A lot of graffiti. Also, I'm a big fan
I
of.
heard I heard something. Yeah, I heard something about the big building there. That's global. That's global right there. That building of all the architectural work all around the world.
That's Speedy Legs territory nowadays. He's over
Yes.
there all the time. And when are you gonna make it back over here, bro? You and Speedy should do something over here, like open up a school or something over here, like something like
Um.
that. You interested? You
Yeah.
ever seen coming to South Florida again?
That. Let me tell you, Bernard. It's a good question. But the thing is that remember in Germany.
You a
Let me tell you
legend over
what's
here, bro.
Right.
You
Let
a
me tell
legend.
you what's going. Let me try to clear this out really clear. The problem in Germany is, Bernard, that I don't have a visa, the stamp inside the passport. When the stamp is inside the passport visa, that I pay for it real for 1 cent in the bank. I go real here to Frankfurt, take care of everything, face everything. Then I should be at a Dusseldorf airport, drinking me a coffee and arriving back at International South Florida Airport. That's when my brother Henry picks me up, or my sister picks me up, or my mother picks me up, or my step father picks me up. When you
Coming home.
go into when you go into the family, Bernard, you got pay attention. You got Cuban, you got Puerto Ricans, you have Mexico, you have Italia, you have Dominican Republic inside the family.
Yep. Well, I just man, I'm thinking of the future right here, and I know you.
Cuban.
You know, I know you and Speedy Leg, like the man. I see all this breaking art form that you guys pioneered, and I'm watching this young little kids nowadays. I'm like, you people got a lot of work to do. Like this is just the best is yet to come for you and Speedy Leg.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about schools. You know what I'm saying? Because the young ones, the young kids nowadays, they love. And and now what we got? Supposedly we're gonna get like breaking in the Olympics soon.
I've been pretty much not only pretty much I've been pretty much watching it day and night. But I'm gonna be honest about something, Bernard. The thing about right to think about it, the date right now, right? We're talking about the date today, right now, the date right now. It's the okay, like you said, no, school, right? You got a school, electricity, you have to pay the light, okay, everything, ain't the place, okay. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you have inside the school, right, all types of embrace, nationality that are willing, and hunger and willing to really learn, you're gonna have a school that's gonna be growing every single day and learning every single day they come to the school. And that's a perfect way to look at it sharp. When you have that real, that's the hours that you put into your training, like a Ken Swift, like a Mr. Wiggle, like a Crazy Leg and Red Bull PC1, like Mr. Freeze. When you have a schedule and you really make that schedule a reality, a vision, not an illusion vision, Bernard, not a fantasy vision, Bernard, not a Walt Disney vision, but a real vision. That vision becomes a reality vision. That was Speedy Legs when I was home in South Florida, Miami.
Yeah. Flex, the Asian countries have embraced breaking, and what do you think of the Asian countries? Because I see them, they fast, man. This Asian people are fast at doing, and this particular art form. What do you think of them?
Well, again, it's a whole different movement, it's a different movement, Bernard. But I'm going to tell you something. It's not only the different movement. Look at have you ever seen the South Korea? Have you
No,
seen the Koreans? The people is Korean.
no.
Wow, it's super incredible,
So I'm
super
gonna go.
incredible.
So what do? I go to YouTube and say South Korea breakdancing, so I can see something unique and different.
Okay, listen. When you go to YouTube, right? You write, for instance, I'll send it. I'll send it to you, and you'll see it. You'll have everything. You're gonna have everything. Trust me. But to think about it, what I'm trying to say is you have to go by the first step. You know, the first step. You know how a baby is when you pick him up, se cayó, no puede levantarse. ¿Por qué? Porque la pierna tan floja, no tiene fuerza en la pierna. There's no strength, Bernard. No strength. And that's what happened to the school, La Escuela. The real school, bro, Bernard, trust me. I don't know if it's because of so much money that they made. Everybody is different, Bernard. In the word called the old school, to the new school, to the present school, to the futuristic school. How you wanna look at it. Remember, in the vision of the visualize, of the imagination,
Yep.
it's everybody that is
Here's,
part of doing it.
I'm not an
Everybody
expert.
that, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not an expert, but what I see, I see the Asians, they have a lot of technical, you know what I'm saying, like technical abilities, but I don't see, like, I see, like, for example, what you guys do is a lot of heart in it. Like, it's more like from the heart. It's more like
yeah. And a lot of rhythm to it. Congo, you
the
know the African Congo?
uh-huh,
The Congales, the African Congales.
congas,
Timbales.
uh-huh.
You know what? Yeah, the
Mhm.
congas. There you go. It comes from that. It comes from that. But think about it. You gotta thinking that if you watch real with what I'm gonna send you, you're gonna go, wow, that's not
Okay,
Miami, Florida.
I want to
That's
see
not
it. I
Miami.
want to see it.
Yeah, that's not Miami. And that
I
is
want to.
not New York City.
Me, and a lot of my viewers are very, very interested in just finding out with this topic we really love. In my platform, we talk about a lot of stuff, but this one, it's right here. This is passion, bro.
Yeah.
This is passion here. We want to know all about it. So let's pause it. Flex, I know it's late for you there. Let's pause it for a moment, and then
Okay.
let's get more people. I want to get you and Speedy next time. The next time is whenever you guys want to, and get more people in here and talk more about this particular subject that is dear to our heart, man. This is home.
Right.
The breakdancing, and it's home to us, bro.
Yes.
And we want to know all about it. So for now, we're gonna pause it right here, and we'll be right back in another moment. With more breaking b-boy talk with this historic pioneers of the movement. Okay, thank you, Flex, for coming through and giving us this particular interview. Okay.
Okay.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.